I just wanted to speak a bit about human survival, and I guess I wanted to start by thanking all the good work that people have put in, from Martin Rees to Nick Bostrom and Matthew Bunn, Jack Chow, all the people that are out there fighting for some wisdom. The folks that put together the seed bank in Norway is a great example. The Millennium Goals of the UN, all very cool, long-sighted wisdom is kind of what we need. But it's kind of funny actually to speak about human survival, because it's almost counterintuitive. Like when I look at the item that I think is close to the top of the priority list, which is human warfare and technology, I look at it as a simple equation: warfare plus technology equals ugliness. So you look at the left side of that equation, warfare isn't ending. So, you know, my hope is that, or the idea is that you can displace or take the technology out to a degree by using the inherent card that we have to play, which is honor. But it's funny to speak about anything human survival related that requires a major change, because they're all a little bit pie in the sky. You can easily say, well, humans have been at war forever, and since they picked up the first rock, there's a habit, and you're not going to get people out of warfare plus technology. And you know, there's always good arguments against humans making rational moves, because what's most likely is the trajectory we're on. It's a very well established trajectory. So I guess I just want to speak a little bit about moving towards wisdom, and how I guess they're all a little bit, or at least significantly, utopian. You know, we don't value resiliency to the extent that I think we could. It's like we take out insurance for the car, or but we don't take out insurance on human survival. You know, even being mammals and how thin our food supply is, you know, a little resiliency in the system so we could keep each other, if something happened to our food supply, we'd have a little bit in reserve, so we wouldn't be at each other's throats in 24 hours or 24 minutes or whatever it might be. More about resiliency is Neil deGrasse Tyson says, we are in the universe, and the universe is in us. There's just immense power in the microscopic world. I don't think we respect it to the degree that we could. You know, nanotechnology is a very difficult technology to manage because it's new and extremely powerful, but we're not getting the low-hanging fruit, like antibiotics to farm animals. It seems as if we found the antibiotics that were easy to find, and you know, we're playing with fire, and you probably don't want to play with fire if you want human survival. And we have a problem of displaced brains, or displaced effort, or effort that is not, you know, you look at something like Ebola. We could have had a vaccine figured out a long time ago, but we're working on the wrong problems. If you have 100 geniuses working on a problem, but it's the 50th most important problem, it's almost like the brains are absolutely insignificant. Cambridge, Massachusetts, my homeland to a degree, likes to call itself the biotech capital of the world, but it's not capital with an OL, it's capital with an AL. And it's about, you know, there's a lot of wonderful things about capitalism and how it motivates people and how much we've accomplished with capitalism, but there's limits to the rationality that capitalism can deliver for us. The wisdom of the market is a joke. So yeah, that brings you to Jack Chow and his idea to have a treatment team, a hazardous team in place for something like Ebola. Have the beds, have the people who have been trained. You know, this requires some foresight and more people thinking in the long-term survival mode. I also think that, you know, I look at like the Harvard Business School and the kind of juice that's there and how much esteem it gets. But they can't figure out that the rainforest, an acre of rainforest, has more intelligence embedded in it than all the Harvard graduates of the last 100 years, potentially. You know, how is the rainforest not valued as 1 penny per acre more valuable than palm oil? 3.8 billion years of R&D. There's all this, you know, we love to talk about Silicon Valley and human intelligence and research and development, but we're mowing down solutions at an incredible rate. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Leonardo da Vinci said, "Nature is man's greatest teacher," and with the TED lecture of Michael Palin and what biomimicry could bring us, we're silly on this front, quite silly. And I guess the last point that I want to make is just about fear and how powerful an emotion fear is for the human. Seth Godin likes to say that, you know, if you were to argue with your boss at your job, it's not just the fear of arguing with your boss or losing your job, but we have the fear goes all the way to we're homeless and on the street and without food. So when we think about making moves as humanity goes forward, we have to think about the people who are in positions of power now, and if we need to move in a different direction, how can we take care of the people who would be losing their meal tickets? You remove a dictator and you want to bring him to the criminal courts, which is understandable. We want justice, but it's more important that we get movement and we don't leave people in such an entrenched position where fear is kind of painted us in a corner. We need to make moves and be less concerned about what happened yesterday, because yesterday we're not an enlightened species, and if we're going to move towards enlightened, we're going to move towards human survival, we need to make that movement towards human survival, give it the least friction moving forward. So that's what I got. Thank you. I don't know if there's anything remotely groundbreaking there, but